My new hard drive arrived today. I have a battery for the CMOS with some spares. I have my choice of an AMD Sempron or an AMD Duron processor. And I have my Windows 98 Second Edition disk. So I am ready to do a Windows 98 Second Edition build on this Socket A motherboard that used to run Windows XP, coming up on ThriftyAV. My first big decision is which processor to use. The Sempron is faster, but with Windows 98, I might not want it running too fast, or some games might not work right. But I still want to go ahead and see how well Windows 98 runs on this Sempron. If it gives me problems, I still have this Duron I could try out. So I'm going to mount this and mount my RAM, and let's get started. Ran into a little resistance, almost like I had a bent pin, but I do have it seated now. All right, let's put a little bit of thermal paste on here, and I'm running out of thermal paste. All these builds I've been doing. This cooling fan has one side that's almost next to the heat sink, and the other side sits out a little bit. Use a flathead screwdriver to put the other side. I installed RAM into DDR1, DDR2. I'm leaving DDR3 empty for now. This is 2 gigabytes, which will be plenty for what I'm doing. This cable is labeled slave here, so I'm going to move the jumper to cable select enable. Well, let's go ahead and do the floppy drive. I do need power to the hard drive. I need video card. It does not require supplemental power. Let's screw that down. The CMOS battery is so buried under these cables I almost forgot about it, but it goes right here. Alright, let's power this thing up. Default's loaded, F1 to continue, delete to enter setup. Let's enter setup. Oh, it is definitely not 2005. I got it to detect the hard drive, and it sees the DVD-ROM. That's good. Let's save and exit setup. I'm going to go ahead and load Windows 98 in here. See if it boots from that drive. I'm going to change keyboards out. Boot from CD-ROM. Start Windows 98 from CD-ROM. Woohoo, looks like we're on our way. It didn't like my USB keyboard. Welcome to setup. To set up Windows Now, press enter. Configure out unallocated disk space. Yes, enable, if you have a drive over 512, which I do, would you like to enable large disk? Yes. Disk boot failure. Insert system disk and press enter. I ran this disk through the JFJ for a minute and buffed out the scratches, so I'm hoping that it'll boot now. We'll see if it makes a difference. I'm not getting any response from my floppy drive, so I'm going to try a different floppy cable out and see if that helps. Okay, I got it to actually boot from the CD-ROM. I still haven't gotten the floppy drive to work. I kind of want the floppy drive to work, but at this point it's formatting the C drive. I'm going to leave it alone, let it do its thing, and it's 1% done. This is going to take a little while. Okay, it's now installing Windows. To continue, press enter. Alright, it's checking C drive and it's copying the Windows setup files. Congratulations on choosing Windows 98, the software that makes your computer more powerful, reliable, manageable, and entertaining. To begin setup, click Continue. Alright, I want to use the Windows directory. I want to do a typical install. Computer name, I'm going to call this Win98. I'm in the United States. Next. Okay, it says sit back and relax while Windows 98 installs. And I have a progress bar down here. I'm going to let this do its thing while I do other things like laundry. Insufficient memory to initialize Windows. I got 2 gigs on this thing. Alright, let's try safe mode out. Insufficient memory to initialize Windows. Okay, I read that error can occur if you have too much RAM. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out these memory sticks and put in a smaller one and then try again. Alright, Windows seems to be a lot happier with less memory. Alright, it booted into safe mode. Now I'm going to reboot it. My name, my company. Next. I accept the agreement. This mouse is glitchy. Oh, my product key. You can't see this. Okay, Windows 98 saved all information. Click Finish. It's now initializing the driver database, and I'm going to do more on that later. It's now setting up my hardware and any plug-and-play devices. Plug and pray is what we used to call that. This will restart automatically, or I can restart it now. I'm going to let it restart automatically. That is the right date, and yes, it is this late. We're not on Pacific time though, we're on Central time. Apply. Okay. Unable to install Java packages from Windows Java class. Okay. Setup needs to restart. It's already in there. So I should just be able to click OK. This is an unofficial service pack disk. It's basically a website put this together with all the updates since 2nd edition. I'm going to go ahead and load it up. Use at your own risk. I made this driver disk for the motherboard and for the video card. I'm now installing USB drivers, audio drivers, and graphic drivers. Alright. And that is the Windows 98 noise. At this point, progress on this build came to a standstill. The tray on the optical drive I was using would no longer open and close. All my other optical drives were SATA style and I needed IDE. The floppy drive also did not work. I had not yet installed the USB driver, so there was no workaround for these problems. So I ordered some parts from eBay and put this project on the back burner. But those parts have arrived. So stay tuned for part 3 of my Windows 98 build. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you to my patrons for supporting this channel, and remember, stay thrifty, everyone.